The royal starship Azelthra descended from the nebula clouds like a living cathedral of light and silver bone. Its engines hummed with a frequency that resonated across the valley, shaking the leaves of crystalline trees below. Lieutenant Ethan Ward, the first human ambassador ever granted entry to the Empire of Valari, stood rigid on the landing platform, trying to ignore his racing heartbeat. He had trained for war. He had trained for peace. Nothing had prepared him for this. As the ship lowered, a bridge of white energy extended outward, and a procession of armored Valari guards stepped off, tall, elegant, with eyes like molten copper. But it was the last figure who made Ethan swallow hard. She was radiant. Draped in ceremonial armor forged from silver gold alloy, the Princess Arinya Valari moved with a poise that seemed part war dance, part thunderstorm. Her long rose-violet hair shimmered like a river of starlight, and her presence demanded respect. The guards knelt. Ethan instinctively followed. Princess Arinya spoke, her voice ringing like music and command intertwined. "Rise, Ambassador Ward. The Empire welcomes you. But I did not summon you for diplomacy." Ethan stood, eyes steady. "Then why am I here?" Her lips curved, not into a smile, but into something far more dangerous. "Because I have chosen you." The guard's head snapped up in shock. Even Ethan felt the air vibrate with tension. "Chosen?" he asked. "For what?" She took 2 steps closer, so near he could see the energy veins glowing faintly beneath her skin. A union. A political bond between human and Valari. A marriage. Ethan's mind went blank. Marriage? They had barely spoken before today. This wasn't courtship, it was an ultimatum. He exhaled slowly. "With respect, Princess, humans don't treat marriage like a treaty. We choose our partners freely." A murmur rippled through the guards, an insult to royal authority. Princess Arinya silenced them with a gesture. "You misunderstand. I offer you more than a crown. Without this alliance, war between our species is inevitable. Your leaders know this." Ethan's blood ran cold. So this was it. Humanity's survival hanging on a union he never asked for. And yet, her eyes held something more than strategy. They held fear. Not of him, of the future. Hours later, Ethan walked through the crystalline halls of the palace, escorted, not forcibly, but unmistakably monitored. The moonlight refracted across glass-like walls, bathing everything in surreal beauty. He was to give his answer at dawn. A human diplomat would have said yes immediately. A soldier might have refused on principle. Ethan wasn't sure what he was anymore. He heard steps behind him, soft, unarmored. He turned to see Arinya standing alone, without guards, without the armor of royalty. She wasn't intimidating now. She looked almost human, tired, conflicted. "You didn't come to intimidate me," Ethan said quietly. "You came to explain." She nodded. "There is something your government does not know." She touched a panel and a hologram formed. Battle projections, fleets, death counts, probability percentages. "Another empire approaches," she said. "The Vesh Dominion. They will conquer both our worlds unless we unite. Not on paper, in blood. In lineage. A bond that cannot be politically broken." Ethan watched the holographic war unfold in silence. "If marriage is what protects both our species," she whispered, "then I will do it. For my people. For yours." But it was not the life I dreamed of. He finally understood. She wasn't forcing him for power. She was sacrificing herself for everyone. Ethan stepped closer, his tone softer. "And if I say no?" Her breath trembled. "Then you will leave safely. But war will come within a year." Silence blanketed the room. "What about you?" he asked. "What do you want?" Not as a princess, but as a person? Her glowing eyes shimmered with emotion. I want freedom. And I want peace. I cannot have both. For the first time, Ethan felt the weight she carried. Let me see the stars with you, she said suddenly. Just one night without politics. Then decide. They took a silver glider above the cloud ocean. The sky was a living mural of constellations, nebulae, and drifting cities built into floating rock. Arinya leaned against the hull railing, eyes reflecting the cosmos. My mother loved a human once, she said. Before war took him. She raised me to believe love could end war. But I fear she was naive. Your mother wasn't wrong, Ethan said. People die when they stop believing in something better. She laughed sadly. You sound like a king already. He shook his head. I sound like someone afraid to make the wrong choice. She turned to him. Not royalty, not destiny, just a woman, exhausted by expectation. If you marry me, she whispered, I will not claim your loyalty. I will not demand affection. Only alliance. If love ever comes, it will belong to us, not the throne. Ethan had seen alien worlds, alien technology, alien wars. But vulnerability, this was universal. And suddenly he knew the answer. Ending. The palace throne hall was packed at dawn. Nobles, generals, emissaries. The judgment was expected to be swift. Princess Arinya stood armored and solemn. Ethan walked beside her. The Emperor's booming voice rang out. Ambassador Ward, do you accept the princess as your bonded mate and unite your species? The hall fell into breathless silence. Ethan looked at Arinya. She didn't beg, didn't pressure, didn't command. She waited. He took her hand, not as obligation, but as courage. I accept the bond, he declared. But not as a pawn, not as a hostage. I marry as a partner, equal in duty, equal in choice. Whispers rippled, outrage, shock, hope. Arinya squeezed his hand gently. The Emperor answered. Then let the Empire and humanity live, not as rivals, but as family. The hall erupted in thunderous applause. Light bathed them, ceremonial and blinding, sealing the pact. Yet later, away from crowds, away from crowns, Ethan and Arinya sat together at the edge of the palace balcony, feet dangling above the cloud ocean. No crown today, Ethan joked. No imperial orders either, she replied. Just two people. Two strangers bound by destiny, learning how to become something more. I don't know where this road leads, Ethan admitted. Arinya leaned her head against his shoulder. Then we will walk it together. For the first time, the future didn't terrify either of them. Humanity didn't survive because it was strong. It survived because someone was brave enough to choose unity over fear. And in that moment, under a sky full of alien stars, Ethan Ward understood. War ends when someone decides to love the world more than they fear the cost.